by the title, today's video is not really going to be art related. Well, it is because I'll be drawing during the video, but the voiceover is going to be different. So I hope you guys will enjoy this because this video is very, very special to me, and honestly, it's something that I'm glad that I'm able to talk about now, because before I wasn't really in a position to talk about it because I always felt so ashamed and everything about where I was from. But now I kind of feel a little bit better. Well, not a little bit, I feel way better about where I'm from. So I would love to share my story with you all. Oh, and by the way, this video is going to be one of 3 or 4. It depends on how many videos I make in this little series thing, because I really want to, just take the time to just open up to you guys and to let you guys know, where I'm from and, just a little bit more about me. So yeah, if you are interested and you would like to hear more, then feel free to stick around to the end. I love you guys, and I'll let second voiceover Burnell take it away. Okay, so I didn't write down anything. I have no bullet points, no script, no nothing. This is just me talking, so if I seem like I'm rambling, that's why. So my parents and I, we are Congolese. Specifically, we're from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is a country in Africa. I think I briefly mentioned this in one of my earlier videos here on my channel. But yeah, that's where we're from. I was born here in the US, so that's why I don't really have an accent. I really wish I did have an accent, because you know how fire that would be? Imagine Burnell, me, doing voiceovers with a different accent. That would just be so cool. But yeah, I was born here in 2001. And my parents, they came to the States in 1999. So that was obviously a couple years apart from when I was born. But yeah, growing up, I always felt kind of confused with regards to my identity, ethnicity wise. I think you get the point. I always had issues with just trying to figure out which box I fit in, because when I started going to school, obviously I was speaking French, Lingala, I could understand Chiluba, I could also understand Swahili a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. C-A-P. So as a result of that, I had some, I don't want to say I had speaking issues, because I really didn't. I think I just had a slight accent at one point, because at home we were mostly speaking French, Lingala, and all that. Well, just French and Lingala. So when I started going to school, some of my teachers noticed that, and and obviously the students noticed as well, and it kind of just led to me feeling isolated, or I would get picked on all the time, or I'd have to take classes that I didn't need, like ESL.
I hate it here!
I literally was put in ESL for 4 years, or not 4 years, I think it was closer to 3 or 2 years, because my quote-unquote accent was not American enough or something. I don't know. it was just so stressful because I constantly felt like I had to put like the other languages that I knew in the back of my head and stuff. So it was just so painful, like not only for me but also for my parents, because like, you know, when you're growing up and you're raising, well, no, not when you're growing up, but when you're raising a child, like you want your child to have some type of like, you know, some type of sense of like knowing where they're from or having some type of culture, you know, not in like a weird like nationalistic type way, but you know, just in a way that they feel like they belong somewhere, you know. And I feel like when I was put in those classes, I just feel like I that's when I really started to lose myself, because I had to force myself to talk a certain way. I had to, you know, force myself to stop doing certain things around people at school. And I remember it got to a point where this is so cringy, like this literally breaks my heart every time. I remember it got to the point where I told my parents that I didn't want to eat their nasty food anymore, and I didn't want to speak the language because this is America. You shouldn't be speaking another language. Like,
what did she say? Hey! You should have spoke to begin with. Like, this is your own fault. Like, walk away.
it was bad. Like, imagine getting cooked like that by your own child. Like, what? To this day, like, that still bothers me, because obviously now I don't feel that way at all, not even a little bit. Like, I still have the most American accent possible when I speak Lingala or français, parce que nous sommes américains, tu sais. But you know, it's just hard. Like, I just wish that didn't happen, because like now I have to try twice as hard in order for me to reverse that damage. I would say that my turning point, like the point of my life when I really started to, you know, just stop caring, was in high school, because even after I finished ESL, like once I went into, you know, elementary school, middle school, that's when the real bullying started, because I was kind of heavy back then. Like I wasn't the smallest person. I was pretty chubby for my age, and people would make really mean comments, or they'd call me stuff like an African booty scratcher, and like call me like really, really mean names, and it was just terrible. And I think I think it was after freshman year of high school, my mom and we took a trip to Congo for the first time, and I was terrified. Okay. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who was gonna be there. Like, it was just new. Like, it was a completely new experience. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen while I was there, but at the same time I was still really excited somehow. Like, I was excited because, number one, I was gonna meet my cousins, like my family that I had never met before or that I always heard about, and second, like, I was finally gonna be able to see where my parents are from and the place that they call home to this day. So when we got to the airport in Kinshasa, I think it was in Gili, yeah. When we got to Gili airport, I was just in shock. Like, I had never felt so at home before. Like, there was just an overwhelming feeling of like comfort. I don't know how to describe it, but like I just felt like I was home, like I was finally somewhere. And the days that followed that just continued to really show to me that that was my home. That's where I'm from, you know. And even for my mom and my family, like they were just so happy that like I wasn't, you know, begging to go back home. Like it was such an enjoyable experience, honestly. Like I can honestly say that that trip to Congo really changed my life. Like as soon as we came back, like I was eating the food, like I was eating our cultural food first of all. So like bondu, fufu, makayabu, you know, misuni, all that stuff, fumbwa. Like I was eating all of that stuff and I was just so happy, you know. Like I felt connected to something. And on top of that, like it just really showed me that no matter how much people bully me or whatever people would say to me, it doesn't matter, because I always knew that I had a family back home that cared about me and loved me and everything. So with all that being said, the advice that I would give to anyone who is either the child of immigrants or you were born in another country and you came to a different country, or you're like a Congolese person that's randomly watching this, or like, you know, like a French person that's watching this, or an Asian person, whoever you might be, just don't let anyone take your identity from you or your culture from you, because that's something that you can't really take away, you know. Like our culture, it shapes so much about us. It shapes our values, it shapes our, you know, our food, our brains. Like anybody who speaks 2 or more languages can tell you, like, your brain does not function the same way. Like sometimes you'll be thinking in English, but you see, I'm already starting. Like you'll be thinking in English, but then the words come out in like Spanish or something.
City one.
So yeah, but that's all I had to say for this video. I know I've kind of been rambling for like 11 minutes. But I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. The next video in this little mini series I'll be doing is hopefully me doing like a tutorial in my native language, but I don't know yet. I'm still trying to see if I want to do that first or if I want to do a video with my parents first. But stay tuned for the next part of this little mini series. I love you guys, and yeah.